What's up, family? It's your boy D.GRAY back again doing this thing I like to do, what I'm commanded to do. And I want to do a quick breakdown of John 3:16. Now, you know, that's a very popular script, and people use it for whatever they want to use it. They want to save the whole world with it. And we understand that. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of why it isn't and why we shouldn't use it as a catch-all for the whole world in their sin. I will attest that I do not believe that God sent his son down here to die for the entire planet. And I'm going to show you a couple of scriptures that kind of support that. Now, it may go against a lot of what your popular beliefs are, but once I give you a couple of scriptures, maybe it'll change what you think about that. So let's first go to John 3:16 and read it. It says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." This is a very popular script, and one that people believe will save the entire planet and personally themselves for their sins. But as I've said before, we have to understand that God is not speaking to the entire world. It doesn't make sense that God would send his son to die for people who don't believe in him, much less for those that will continue in their sin after the death of Christ. So why does the Bible say world then? If it doesn't mean the entire world, Darrell, then why does it say world? Well, let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah, who prophesied about Christ coming back to save Israel, said in chapter 45, verses 16 and 17, "They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go into confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end." In the scripture, he calls Israel a world without end. So we also have to understand that the Bible references world in many different contexts. But in this context, it supports what I stated earlier, that the Most High God considered the Israelites the world. Let's go to another precept that shows that God did not give his son to the entire people on the planet. He did not give his son to everybody walking on the earth. If we go to Matthew chapter 15, verses 22 through 24, it reads, "And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coasts, and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs." So as we go further down into the chapter, he does show some mercy for the woman. And a lot of people will tend to believe that it means that God will also show mercy to other nations as well. But we have to understand that even in this scripture, not only did Jesus ignore her at first, he basically called her a dog. He did subsequently help her, but that doesn't mean that he was bent on helping everyone out of Canaan. To extrapolate that means that you are adding to the word. That's against the law. Now, we can say that God will show mercy to some in the other nations. There will be some individuals out of the other nations that he will show some mercy. But that doesn't mean everyone. It won't be everyone on the planet. To say that is against the law. He's not going to save the entire planet. John 3:16 does not save the entire planet. And people using this as their go-to for salvation for every people group walking on the face of the earth is misrepresenting the scriptures. If we go to James chapter 2, verses 17 through 19, it reads, "Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew me thy faith without thy works, and I will shew thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble." So now we understand that just believing on Christ is not the prerequisite for automatic salvation. Even demons believe in God. So basically, this just throws John 3:16 out of the window. This whole entire popular interpretation of it goes out the window. Believing on Christ has a very important and actually narrow connotation attached to it. Think about it. We have to rightly divide the word to get a more accurate interpretation of what the scriptures are actually saying and get away from all of these popular beliefs just so that you can do whatever you want and you think you'll be safe because Jesus died and you happen to be a believer. There's a particular reason why Jesus died, and it isn't so that you can continue in sin. And understand, salvation isn't for everyone, so account for yourself and how you deal with the scriptures. You need to study for thyself be approved, and don't just take what I tell you or what the preachers tell you on Sunday as the true gospel. You guys have a great weekend, and shalom.